here. I've already run the installation and a shortcut appeared on my desktop, so I'll double click that shortcut to launch the program. And I also have on my desktop a text file with some test zips inside, and so I'll go ahead and paste those into the zip code text box area and hit retrieve, and we'll see the 3 zips get processed. So now we have some data back. And what's happened here is data has been scraped from the search query at campaignmoney.com, and as well, for each record, the associated PDF file has been downloaded to the local drive, and an attempt has been made to extract the correct address information out of that file for each donor's record. And what we can see is that street address and city, for example, actually have 3 items, and these are actually the 3 records that are contained in the PDF file that comes from campaignmoney.com. But since there are 3, and since it's very difficult to reliably extract text data from a PDF dynamically, what I've done is I've made it so that all 3 are pulled out. The best educated, very educated guess is made as to which is the correct one, and in the event that it isn't the correct one, the one that you visually verify is the correct one can be selected, and that's the one that will appear in the export. And so let's just go verify what this guy did. Retrieve one more time. We'll see it run, and let's see for this one, Barron, Mrs. Margaret Barron. We have 30 Isabella Street and Pittsburgh, and that is correct. So there you go. And now what we can do is export that data. And so clicking the export button, we can see a data file directory is chosen for us by default inside of the install directory of the program. I'm going to click it to switch the directory to something on my desktop. I already have a folder there from previous tests called data files. So I'll select that. I'll say I want the selected tab exported. We can have all tabs exported to a single file as well. And I'll say I want to include the column names in that file as the first line in the file. Let's say OK. And in data files, we get this new file. And the file's named by the year, month, day, hour, minute, and second. And what this does is pretty much guarantee that we'll have a unique file name here in our data file. So I'll just open that guy quickly. We'll see the data is there. And we'll see, for example, for Mrs. Barron at 30 Isabella Street, if we go ahead and export that again after changing her to Taper Drive, then in our new file, we'll see that in fact it's Taper Drive that gets exported to the file. There we go. Okay, so that's the data files. You can see that the PDFs themselves have been downloaded to the local folder inside of the install directory. That can also be changed, and how that's changed is on the call settings. So call settings, if we pop this guy open, allows us to set the PDF directory where PDFs will be downloaded. It allows us to say retrieve the PDFs or not at the time of the call. And it also allows us to say don't wait in between calls, or wait some amount of time in between calls. This may be important if you're worried about hitting the campaignmoney.com server too frequently. You can cause the application to wait up to 15 minutes between calls so that you might not be detected as a malicious bot of some kind. And then there's the call timeout. This is how long the calls will wait before considering a request to the server as being invalid, dead, or hanging for too long. And you can set that for up to 5 minutes timeout. And that's it. So basically what I wanted to demonstrate with this part here was just getting a few zips, going on a new tab, and pasting those zips in and unchecking the retrieve PDF files box so that we don't retrieve PDFs for these guys. In this case, we'll just get the scraped data. It's much faster, of course. And when I do have the PDF information, because this was already downloaded previously. So let's see. Let's go take something we haven't done before. These here. And retrieve. Okay, so in this case, we don't get the address information, and we don't see the PDF files. What's happened here is just a scrape of the data. We can do that for as many as we like. It's very quick to scrape data for zips out of campaignmoney.com. The only thing that causes a call to take a little longer sometimes is when we actually do retrieve the PDF files. And so, let's see, no, not that. Now we do have some data in 3 tabs, so we may as well demonstrate all tabs export. And open up this guy. We should see the new file appear. And say OK. And there it is. And we can see the data from all 3 tabs gets output to the file. So there you have it. We can paste as many zips as we like in here. In the case of PDF retrieval, if the server doesn't respond in time for the download of the PDF, you should see a message that when the run is done that says that some PDF files couldn't be downloaded. Basically all you have to do is run that call a second time at a later time, maybe even just a few seconds later, depending on what the responsiveness of the campaignmoney.com server is looking like that day. You may or may not get it in the second or third try. Again, files that have already been downloaded will not be downloaded a second time, even if we tell this guy to retrieve PDFs. Because they're already stored locally, no PDF retrieval will be done. Just whatever is there will be retrieved. And so there you have it. We have call settings. We have multiple tabs. We have the data. We can switch out for address information what we think is the right one by visually verifying the PDF file. And the PDF files and data files that are produced can be exported to a folder or downloaded to a folder that we select. For the PDFs, it's in the call settings, and for the exporting, it's in the export options dialog after clicking export. And that is about it, except for the help button. If we click that, we'll go to a page where we can see some descriptions and helpful notations in this video, so that we might find out something we need to know about the interface should we need some kind of help. That's all. Thank you very much, and happy scraping.